I am ready for Toni. I have never faced her before. So definitely like this weekend, I'm going to study a little more about her offense and to make sure that I have the right defense to do what I need to do to win this match.
Hello, everyone. For Sportskeeda in Focus, this is Bill Apter.
And this is Brad Gilmore.
And welcome. And focus today is on the AEW Women's World Champion, Thunder Rosa. Welcome to Sportskeeda in Focus.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. So what does it feel like when you get introduced now as the preface to your name, World Champion?
Well, it was about time, man. I've been working on this for, I don't know, 8-9 years is going to be now.
Okay.
So it feels right.
It feels right. Did you get the goosebumps and the chills the night that you defeated Britt Baker, DMD, for the title?
Yeah, I mean, I more than the goosebumps and everything was the pain that I felt afterwards. It was just like I earned this win. It was very intense, but everybody was really happy when I got home. A lot of my family was there, so we got to share all those beautiful moments together.
What was that celebration like?
Okay, let me remind myself. Well, I don't know. Just like such a blur. I remember when I won, I went back to the back and I had like 100 thumbtacks on my butt. So, and I didn't remember I had them. So I was just like, I gave us so much adrenaline. I remember Chrissy, who's part of our marketing team and our merchandise team. She was like literally taking the thumbtacks out of my butt as I'm like hugging my son. They went and got my brother, my dad and my husband. It was just so much, and I was like full of blood. Everybody was hugging me, like the mariachis were playing the mariachi music in the back to celebrate. Like, I wish I would have recorded everything. I didn't, but I was like such in the moment that I couldn't record it for the vlog. It was just too much, and it was really awesome.
Yeah. Brad?
When you won that title, though, was it a big exhale? Like, wow, I finally did it. You know, we had this great story going from St. Patrick's Day Slam all the way to, the next year. I won the title. Was it a big exhale, or were you like, okay, now pressure's on? Now I gotta do something with this title.
It was both. Like the first 3 days, you're like, yay, celebrating, go with the friends. The pizza man comes and you come out with your title and stuff. So it's just like that kind of stuff. But then, like, the week after, you're like, oh crap, like I am the champion now. Like what's gonna happen? Like, how am I gonna represent? How is this gonna work? Like, it was just so many things that I mean, we were planning for it at one point, right? But it was like when it happened, we were just like, oh my God, like just the fact that you have that and you like doubting yourself, do I deserve this? Like, am I good enough for this? And then it's just like letting it sink in. It took me a couple of weeks before I was like, okay, I am the face of the women's division. I am now like the only official heavyweight champion in the company. So it's like, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it definitely is. Now, what about the forbidden challenge, the forbidden door, the challenge now? And we saw the other night on Dynamite, you face-to-face with your challenger, Toni Storm. She's got quite a reputation of, one of the toughest women in pro wrestling. Now, I don't want you to give anything away, of course, in terms of how you're going to battle her, but what do you feel about battling someone who's got such great ring smarts as she does, and she's a very athletic person?
It feels really good because for a champion, it is very important that to enhance your abilities, you have to, wrestle the best. It's the same with MMA. You have to beat the best to be the best, right? So I am ready for Toni. I have never faced her before. So definitely like this weekend, I'm going to study a little more about her offense and to make sure that I have the right defense to do what I need to do to win this match.
Okay, Brad?
Yeah, and of course, you mentioned your MMA background there. I mean, we were all rooting for you back when you took a foray into MMA. Can you tell a little bit about what, leading up to that fight and the training for it, that you've now implemented in your career as a pro wrestler?
Definitely the cardio, running 3 to 5 miles a day. That's one, just to stay consistent and like with conditioning. And just having not so much like before, I was so focused on like building muscle and like just getting big. And now it's more of a whole like calisthenics, something that helps my body to like be agile, but not like super heavy, because that like my compound training is a lot less than what I used to be. So I try to do other stuff that are gonna help me be agile and keep my feet, have good footing and all that stuff. So I do very different stuff.
Is your MMA training something that you've hurt somebody in your pro wrestling career in the ring?
If I can hurt somebody in the wrestling
No, if you have in the past with some of your MMA tactics.
Not at all. And it just enhances you and it makes you a lot smarter in how you work, because you have different styles and you can adapt to any style that it is. But in pro wrestling, like I train lucha, I train Japanese style, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, kickboxing, boxing, but you can add a bunch of stuff to your arsenal.
All right. So I took the liberty of getting the official AEW women's rankings, and I'd like to go over some of the names, and you tell me your what you feel the strength and weaknesses of these people that may challenge you for your championship somewhere in the next few months, if you get past Toni Storm, of course. So let's first look at the TBS champion, Jade Cargill.
Strengths, she's very powerful. She is another thing. She's been training all the time. She's bettering her skills from like the last time I wrestled her to now. So I think that the shortcomings will be experience, and I think her cockiness might get to her.
Very cocky, very cocky. What about Nyla Rose? She's also on that top 5 list.
And Nyla, she's like, I will say she's probably one of my favorite opponents.
Is she? Why?
She's just, because she's such a powerhouse, and she's also, again, not afraid of taking risks. That's another strength. I think because of that reason, that can be a weakness, because she takes so many risks, and a lot of the times it doesn't work on her favor. Okay.
So the woman that you beat for the title, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, in case she's watching this, I wanted to make sure we covered that. What about her?
She's a very smart person in the ring. Definitely, she is one of the people that I can tell you she studies her opponents and really dissects many different things. She is technical and calculating. The thing that also it doesn't work on her favor is, again, as you saw it with Jade, is her cockiness. And her cockiness got in her twice with me. Yeah. So that's what she hasn't been able to beat me.
Yeah, she is very, very cocky. She's really convinced that she is it. So let's look at Kris Statlander.
Wow, she has grown so much in the last couple of years in all the aspects, in professional wrestling and outside of professional wrestling. If you see her, she's very diverse. She can do many different styles, from like technical to high flying to one of the best bases in the women's division. What are her weaknesses? Let's see. That's a tricky one. I think because she's so eager to make a name for herself in the division, because she said it before, she's been in the division since the company started. Yeah. She jumps back from and she came back stronger. So she has a very strong mentality, but I think what it doesn't work in her favor will be man, on this one, I don't know. I'm like really thinking about it. I don't know. That's a tricky one. I don't know what her weakness.
Maybe she could be too eager, right? Too eager. Maybe that's her thing.
I mean, she's like, it's hard for me to like pinpoint exactly what her weaknesses are.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Finally, someone you've wrestled before, but she's still in contention, is Serena Deeb.
Well, experience.
Yes.
Very technical, very smart. She is the professor of professional wrestling. And I mean, it took me years to be able to defeat her. So I think her weaknesses is any high flying stuff. Like she doesn't like to leave.
And finally, the loaded one that I didn't tell you is on the list. Her name is Thunder Rosa.
Oh,
yeah.
I gotta tell you my strengths.
Strengths and weaknesses. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm relentless. So she's relentless. She's not taking any opponent. She is always willing to go to the next level. That would be, your regular match, gimmick match, any lucha match. She don't care. She just goes for it and goes balls to the wall. Her weaknesses is definitely the same thing. Her eagerness to do too much. And sometimes she doesn't see limits on certain things. And that's what gets her.
Okay. Thank you, Brad.
It could be a strength and a weakness. But, you talk about Serena Deeb and, what a veteran inside the squared circle. And it's just so good at so many different facets. And that's the great thing about the AEW roster is you have a wealth of young talent, but you also have these veterans who've been in it forever, right? I mean, you talk about Chris Jericho, you talk about Christian Cage, Sting, other guys that come to mind. Who is somebody that you seek out, though? Because like you said, you only get better by working with the people who are better than you. Who are people that you seek out in that AEW locker room to bounce ideas off of or just ask for some advice?
Like Dustin Rhodes have been like my coach for ever since I got there. It's him. When I'm like struggling with certain ideas, I go with Dean Malenko. He always has like great ways to like for finishers or like transitions to moves from like one to another. Like he's so like smart. Who else? I have a very good relationship with Mercedes Martinez. She's very humble and she sees things like she like explains things in a way where like anybody can understand without you like being like taking anything personal. She's just her interpersonal skills are great. So I love talking to her about ideas or things that I need to work on because of like the veteran that she is. It's very important that you hear from other women because it's other perspective. Those are the people that I'm close with in terms of like when I need to bounce ideas. Mark Henry is another one who always gets sit down and talk to me about what I could do better, what things that could work, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. What about Tony Khan? Do you talk to Tony backstage as well?
Yes, I do. Yesterday, every time I go and see him, like I make sure that I stay up with all the news. Like I read a lot of the articles of things that he's done. Like when he went to Canada, I was reading about the whole meeting and like how things are going to work out. So I'm always asking about those things. And I ask him about like things that are not related to wrestling because I think he's a very interesting individual. Mm-hmm. And I like to hear his perspective about a lot of different things.
Okay.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, of course, we're talking about the Forbidden Door, big pay-per-view, New Japan Pro Wrestling mixing with AEW.
You notice, by the way, behind me is that Forbidden Door. Do you see that? It's right back there.
That's the Forbidden Door?
That's the Forbidden Door. I'm not opening it. We have to wait until Sunday.
Right. But of course, there are a lot of great talent on the card. You're working Toni Storm, which is a match that a lot of people wanted to see as soon as she came to AEW. Big pay-per-view. What else on that show are you looking forward to seeing just as a fan?
I love Okada. Like he came out yesterday and like the reaction of people was like, Okada, I haven't seen him in years. Like last time I saw him perform was in Japan, a New Japan show in Tokyo. And just to see all these people that I used to see when I was a green girl in Japan is really cool. Now they're working in the same company as me, and like old friends as Jeff Cobb is gonna be there, and he's a tag team champion for RH. So it's really cool. Like and yesterday was just a little taste of what you guys can see at the Forbidden Door, and I'm watching these matches, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like this is gonna be an insane show.
Yeah. Just
calendar. You're crazy.
Just to clear up, by the way, for the fans that are new to wrestling and they don't know what you said that you're going to be when you were a green girl, she has not changed her coloring. That was when she was a rookie. That's the term for rookie there. Jeremy Bennett, who's one of the 3 hosts of the Sportskeeda top show called Top Story, sent in a couple of quick questions that he'd like me to run past you. Who from the past would you have loved to have faced if you had a time machine?
Medusa.
Oh, yes.
That'd be a great matchup for y'all too.
I would love to see that. I would love. And she was trained in that extreme Japanese style. And I still talk to her regularly. She's great. If and when AEW introduces a Trios championship, who would the other 2 be on your team?
Well, people are like asking for what do they call us? Thunderstorm? The Thunderstorm?
Yes.
Yeah. Nothing for that. I think that would be really, really cool. And who will be our third one? Who will be a really good? I'm thinking. Athena, I think it will be really good for all of us.
Okay.
And it just like I think we all complement each other really well. And I love working with Athena too. So.
Well, we got one more thing before we wrap up. First of all, I have titled you that you're a legend in the making because you are so fabulous and you're so young, and you've got MMA. You're a mother, a content creator, an entrepreneur, a lucha libre lady, and I'm so impressed by your presence and your skills. But we figure we want to go to the fan in you right now. Brad has got the Forbidden Door card in front of him, and we're going to do our picks right now as who might win and who might lose. So we're going to put you in focus on the spot right now. You good to go with it?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Brad.
All right, okay. The long card, big card, so we'll get through some of these top matches, of course. We appreciate your time, Thunder Rosa. Jay White will defend that IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Hangman Adam Page, Okada, and Adam Cole in a fatal 4-way.
Oh, I'm going to pick Hangman Page in that match.
I second that.
Oh wow, okay. I think the champ retains. I think the champ retains on that one. What about
Adam?
Say what?
Love Adam, so I'm rooting for him.
Now this is
you and I have the same.
This is one that I think a lot of us are excited about because it's a long time in the making, and it's for the interim AEW World Championship. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jon Moxley.
Oh, that's got to go. Jon Moxley, since his comeback, has been on fire, and nothing against Okada or anything. He's fabulous, but I think Moxley is just a little bit tougher, and he's going to win this.
It has to be Moxley.
Okay, y'all are definitely on the same wavelength. I'm gonna go with Jon Moxley as well. Will Ospreay, the IWGP US Championship, is on the line against Orange Cassidy.
Ospreay, in my opinion, will take that match.
Man, did you see Ospreay this Wednesday? Come on, man! Like I've seen him in the independent. He works a couple of shows, and I just keep being impressed by his ability, his in-ring skills, and like his presence. And like I saw him yesterday on TV again, and Dynamite, and I'm like, I'm just like blown away. So
and Cassidy's got to take him seriously without putting his hands in his pocket. And
when Cassidy wants something, he always brings it. So I'm on the fence. I think Orange is gonna show something that he hasn't shown, so I'm gonna say Orange.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. We of course will have Pac taking on Miro, Malachi Black, and Ishii for the AEW All Atlantic Championship, the brand new title that y'all have there in AEW. Who you got on that one, Bill?
Pac is so ticked off about everything in pro wrestling. I've got him for this one.
Are you Bill? Are you reading my mind? I was just about to say Pac.
Yeah.
I hope he wins.
I didn't tell you about my mind reading.
They've been, those three guys, they've been through hell, and now Pac has an opportunity to like really take a revenge with Malachi. So I really hope that happens.
Yeah, I don't think Miro has reached his peak in AEW yet.
He is a very dangerous person, though.
Sure is.
Yeah, hell of a run with that TNT title as well. I mean, I think Miro would be a great choice, but I'm going to root for Malachi Black on this one. I just love everything that he does. Such a solid in-ring competitor, so I'm going to go Malachi on that one. We don't know who Zack Sabre Jr. is going to face yet, but what about the dudes with attitudes, which includes Sting and Darby Allin taking on the Bullet Club?
Tough one to call, but I think now that Sting is back in the picture, Darby Allin will get that little bit more that he needs, and I pick Sting and Darby Allin.
Sting is my all-time favorite, so
Gotta go Sting. I mean, the face paint, I mean, you gotta go with Sting to win that one. And the last one we'll ask you about, of course, the Ring of Honor.
Wait a minute. Before we do that, I have to let you know he's here.
Is that a Sting Wrestle Buddy?
It is. That's an original Sting Wrestle Buddy.
I can see that
Yes. And he can beat me. Go ahead.
I'm sure they can. The final one that we'll ask you about, Thunder, again, you've been so gracious with your time. The Forbidden Door pay-per-view goes down this weekend. Make sure you order it wherever pay-per-views are available. Of course, AEW and New Japan joint show. The final match we'll talk about is the Ring of Honor and IWGP Tag Team Championships are on the line. FTR takes on Jeff Cobb and Great O'Khan and Roppongi Vice in a three-way there. So what do we got, Bill?
That's a hard one to pick, but the Jeff Cobb and there.
FTR.
Yeah.
It has to be FTR.
Yeah.
I'm with Thunder. FTR is the best tag team in all of pro wrestling right now, in any company.
Totally.
Let alone
They're on fire.
They're so good. I mean, they're so good right now, Dax and Cash. So I think it would be great to see them hold all the gold that they can in pro wrestling. But that's our card. That's the Forbidden Door, AEW, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Well, the biggest match, of course, is the AEW World Women's Championship. Thunder Rosa taking on Toni Storm, the match that everybody's looking forward to. Of course, we know your prediction on that. And I think that we can all say we're going to be pulling for Thunder Rosa in that match, Bill.
Well, I'm a reporter. I'm not allowed to take sides.
Okay.
My God. Whatever.
But what would you like to say first in English to your to all the millions of fans around the world who support you? You have caught the fans by storm, really, all over the world. What would you like to say to the people that are watching here, first in English?
That I'm very thankful for all their support, like on the good times and in the bad times. And that this Sunday, I'm not going to let them down. Like, again, women's wrestling is going to be on top, just like how we did on Double or Nothing.
And would you like to say something in Latino?
Of course. Les quiero dar gracias a todos mis fans en Latinoamérica por seguir apoyándome y todos esos nuevos fans que están siguiéndome. Muchísimas gracias. Ya saben que seguimos representando a la raza con mucho honor.
I love the rolled R's. I'm not going to let you go without one more thing, and that is tell us about Mission Pro Wrestling.
Well, Mission Pro Wrestling, we actually have a show in Oklahoma, which is, we're really excited. It's for Oklahoma City Con. We're going to be there this Saturday. And then on August, we're super happy that we're going to be raising money for the Southside School District in San Antonio for teachers and the kids for coming back to school. So some of the funds will be given to the schools and to the teachers along with the Salvation Army. So a lot of the shows that we're going to be doing for the rest of the year are going to be fundraisers for different organizations that the Salvation Army is helping us help because they're in the same community. And we're very, very excited to not only support our community, but also support women's wrestling. And we're working on some stuff. for next year for some of the girls that have been working with us for quite a while, so we can give them other opportunities that they have not been able to achieve. So it's in the works. So hopefully after I return from some faraway places, we start establishing some of those relationships.
That's great. And where can people find you on social media?
Thunder Rosa 22 on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. ThunderRosa.net on my website if you guys want to buy my personal merchandise, and ThunderRosaOfficial.com if you guys want to watch all my long YouTube videos, special content, and you want to like chat with me or whatever. And then YouTube, Thunder Rosa. You can follow me and tell your family to watch my top.
Now that you're AEW Women's Champion, tell us just the experience of being AEW. What does it feel like for you, being elite?
Elite, it feels very good.
Okay.
Very, very good. I'm very pleased to be a champion, and I am very challenged because I think the challenge is not only representing the company, but for myself, like to better myself every day and every aspect in my life.
Thank you very much. For Sportskeeda in Focus, Bill Apter
and Brad Gilmore.
And we'll see you at the matches. Don't forget the Forbidden Door. It's opening at AEW.